One thing that we do to help the float system work better sometimes is add water and let the actual soil soak a bit, because when it's very petty, when it's clay rich, it can be very problematic. The other thing we do is add hydrogen peroxide. This is Spanish for hydrogen peroxide, and we'll add a little bit that effervesces and allows the soil beds to break up a little bit before it gets into the water. We use this rather than the other chemicals is because I don't want to put any of those chemicals into this water system, which here specifically cows, sheep, and even people drink out of this water system. So what we do to get ready before the float, besides recording it in the notebook, is putting some water in this to give it a little bit of, just to let the PEDs, the larger clay PEDs, fill up and disperse and soften. Okay, to try and control the water, to put it all through the sample, the inner bucket as we call it, we have this nice sort of spongy fabric that we put in here to kind of cut off the water from the large tank to put it in the small tank. So when this goes here, you can see that the water is mainly coming from the inner tank. So now we're going to start adding the soil to the system. Okay, so when we add the soil to the inner bucket, there's two ways to do it. If there's a really strong flow or the soil is easy, you can add it in and have this chiffon bucket here capturing. Our soil we found to be a little bit problematic, so we find that we put the mouth of this to the side and get all the soil in here first, and then start the process of collecting it in the chiffon. So now we're going to start adding the soil to the inner bucket, little by little. We do it little by little, using water to help us. That there's rocks in here. It's obviously 10 liters of dirt. It's pretty dirty. And then we make sure the bucket is clean, so all the dirt of this locust comes in here. You can see now that all the dirt is out of the bucket that waits for the light fraction, and now we start cleaning the soil to extract all the material and let the fine soil go through that inner bucket mesh down to the bottom of the larger basin, which of course we eventually then let go out. So now we just check it out very gently. We put our hands on. You can see it's very muddy still, very muddy. We have to get all that silt down through the mesh to the bottom and have essentially a clean sample. So we just gently, see there's a lot of rocks which we don't want in here, and some lithics even, it looks like. See, there's even some very large rocks. Everything gets put in the bucket during the excavation. So I'm going to just remove some of these larger rocks because they're in our way, and we're going to collect them in the heavy fraction. So I'm going to take them over here and have them ready to go with the heavy fraction, because we don't need them in here. And when there's too many, they just kind of get in the way. So while we let the first set of soil go through, we just take out the big rocks. So now we're going to start the process of helping the fine soil go to the bottom. So se basa primero aquí.
Primero ahí, ambos juntos.
Yep, ambos juntos. So now we're going to start the flotation system, capturing the material. We don't have Nora here. Okay, so uno, dos, tres. Oh yeah, well, voy a limpiarlo. We put the two together so that the water comes out. And we worry about cleaning the silt here too. You can see it's very dirty. So we have to make sure that this never silts up down there. There's a lot of silt that goes in there, and there's water. This water helps that go through to keep the sample unsilted and therefore clean. Meanwhile, we just help things along. Hopefully there's some charred material coming out. We won't know till later. There's a series of things we do to help clean the soil and get all the silt off the heavy fraction and out of the light fraction. One is what you see here, cleaning the chiffon like this. Another is agitate. We're going to agitate and shake, and we do that to help the silt go through. So it's kind of a long process. It takes 20 to 30 minutes sometimes to get the silt through properly. Like this. That helps move the rocks, the sherds that are in there, and the soil goes through and settles down to the bottom and leaves the sample. You can see already, if you grab things, you can see already that it's much cleaner just from that one action. Oh, look, there's a ceramic fragment. Still dirty, so we're going to do this a bit more. Okay, vamos a poner. So now we're going to put this back here and collect what has come out. So we coordinate so that all the water from the inner bucket comes out, and we help whatever's floating, all those little charred things that you can't really see in this mucky water, we help them out this way. And again, continuously use the water to make sure this remains clean.